According to this, I am live. All right, I am live. Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to take a look here. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And get this a little bit larger. All right, and here is the application that we have. Oh boy. Oh, stretching. Sorry, guys. Oh, I had to stretch it out there a little bit. So any life insurance questions at all are more than welcome. Any questions whatsoever? Okay. Yeah, any questions about life insurance? I'm going to put in my link here. Let's see. Copy this link. Oh, I'm sorry. I was posting my live on Facebook. I'm sorry I missed you there. I'm not sure who I have on the on the stream, but welcome to the stream. If you have any questions about life insurance at all, you are more than welcome to ask them. Or if you have any questions in general, feel free to ask those as well. All right, no bad questions, really. So what I was doing was I was just going over. All right, hey, welcome to the chat. If you got any questions about life insurance, feel free to ask. Got two people in here. Hopefully, one of you has questions about life insurance. There's no obligation. I'm not going to try to sell you anything, if that is your concern. Let me adjust my screen here a little bit. But I was just going over life insurance. My primary focus is parents who have kids under 18. I think those are the people that need it the most. Unfortunately, only half of those parents have a policy, and it's so inexpensive, it's so fast, and it provides so much protection. My theory is if people actually sat down and thought about them not being there for their family, like them passing away, that every parent in the United States would have a policy. You know, there's 850 kids every day in the U.S. under 18 that loses a parent, and half of those parents don't have life insurance. So I can pull up a tentative quote here for a 35-year-old male in case you're interested, or if you're not interested, I'll pull it up, and if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask those. But this is a tentative quote for a 35-year-old male. I'm going to do a 30-year term policy for $500,000 just to give you an idea of what it costs. And I do 30 years because that'll take him all the way through to retirement. Now, a term policy is designed to provide a large amount of coverage for very little bit a month for a certain period of time. And that period of time is when you need it the most. You know, while you're raising a family, while you're paying off the house, while you're building up your retirement account. That is what they are designed to do. So for $500,000, a 35-year-old male could get a policy for $33.95 per month. He would have to be a non-smoker in excellent health, meaning that he could have a few love handles but no real major conditions. Most people ages of 35 to 45 are going to be either in excellent health or very good health, with a few exceptions, obviously. So you can look at around $30 to $40 a month, I would say, for $500,000 worth of coverage. This is for Banner Term. I believe they are the best carrier in the U.S. as far as term is concerned. There are a couple companies that are kind of close, but Banner stands out in my opinion. The price can't be beat. They've been around since 1949 as far as Banner. Their parent company has been around for almost 200 years, since 1836. A+ rating, top price, easy application process. So easy, guys. It's so easy. If you've got kids, it takes 15 to 20 minutes to fill out an application. Most of the time, 90% of the time, it's an instant approval. You might have to wait a day or so, but you can see a 35-year-old male, 500,000, 30 years for $33 a month. It takes 15 minutes. I don't know if it can get any easier than that, honestly. I think the biggest issue with people not getting life insurance is the fact that they think they're going to live forever. And if you have kids, I hope you do live forever, but the reality of the situation is a lot of parents do not make it to their 18th birthday, to their kid's 18th birthday. So if you got kids, I highly encourage you to at least check this out, or to check out life insurance from another company. As long as you have kids, get life insurance somewhere, right? I think these are the best. I think a great company. And if you do have any questions, maybe you're a senior citizen. I don't know who's watching, but if you're a senior citizen, you've got any questions, you know, about Colonial Penn, Globe Life, or any of those advertisements you see online, feel free to ask those. Just remember, 90% of those advertisements online are strictly designed to get your information and to sell it to an agent or multiple agents. And all of those advertisements from the Social Security Administration are typically designed to get you to call into a number so you can be transferred to an agent. So any questions at all that you have, my primary focus is kids. So parents with young kids, I want those parents to have life insurance. So if something happens to one of them, that the other parent will be okay and the kids will not have to witness a parent go through financial struggle. So my idea is if every parent thought about dying, then GoFundMe would dry up in a matter of weeks. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to pop them in the chat. Wow, it's a tough crowd. All right, well, I can pull up a quote for a 35-year-old female as well as a male, just to give you an idea of what it's going to cost. It's going to be roughly the same. Females are going to be less expensive than males because they live longer, but $500,000 for a female non-smoking in excellent condition. $28.42, which I think is phenomenal. The application process takes, it's quicker to fill out an application process than it is to set up a GoFundMe, you know. And it provides so much protection that I don't understand why every parent doesn't have one of these. You know, if the $28 is too expensive for you, you could either reduce the number of years. 20 years is more than acceptable if you have young kids. They should be out of the house by the time they're 20. And if $16.95 is too expensive, you can always reduce the amount of coverage to $250,000 because $250,000 is better than $0 the last time I checked, which would be $11.65 a month. Let's say you are on really tough times, but you want to have something in place. You could go for a $100,000 policy for $866. So there's almost no excuse not to have something in place to protect your kids. Outside of the fact that you're a multimillionaire, you absolutely can't afford anything, or you've got health conditions that would exclude you from this type of coverage. So those are the only three things that I can think about as to why people wouldn't have a policy in place to protect their kids. A lot of people say they have policies through work. That's true. Typically it's $50,000 or one time your annual income, but how far will that last your family in the event of your death? You know, 6 months, a year, maybe a year and a half if they really budget, but it's not going to be a long-term solution to it. Eventually that money will run out. So if you have kids, take the 15 minutes. I think the average view time here is 1 minute and 50 seconds. And you could get a quote in that time. You know, add another 10 minutes to it, and you could have a policy in place, either with this link, which is my personal link for Banner Term, or if you don't like me, you can go directly to Banner Term and do it that way. All right. Well, I still have one viewer. I don't know if you have any questions. Feel free. I do have a call here at 2:30, but I've got 42 minutes to answer any questions that you may have. All right, welcome to the channel. Person number 2, if you have any questions about life insurance, feel free to ask. I was just going over the fact that I think every parent with kids under 18 should have a policy in place. I showed how inexpensive and fast it is to fill out the application. In fact, I will click on fill out application. I got a quote here for a 35-year-old female. I'll do a 30-year term, and I'll increase the coverage amount to $500,000 just so you can get an idea of what it costs. $28.42. If I like this quote, I could start the application. It's not going to ask you questions to things you don't have the answers to, typically. Your first and last name, that is the first question. It's going to ask you for your date of birth, which should already be in there from the previous page. Your gender, which should also be hard-coded in there. Your address so they can mail you the policy. It's going to ask you for your email address so they can keep in communication with you. Yeah, the status of your application. Most of the time it's instant. Your social security number, and that they use that to verify you are who you say you are, as well as the death benefit. When you pass away, they verify the death certificate. Your cell phone number, they ask you that so they can send you text messages on the application or the status of your policy. If you miss a payment, you'll get a message that way. Citizenship status, country of birth, your driver's license, that's another one that's asked on the application, and that's to make sure there are no DUIs or reckless driving in the past few years. And then the other sections are pretty straightforward as well. It'll ask you for your coverage information, the amount of coverage you chose. It'll ask you for the person you want to receive the money in the event of your death. I recommend a spouse or whoever is going to be responsible for taking up the financial responsibilities that you left. And then it's going to ask you some health questions. And then finally, it'll ask you for your billing information. You should have the option to use your checking account or savings account. Credit cards sometimes are accepted. However, it's recommended a checking or savings account because credit cards do expire. And that is how easy it is. It takes longer to watch a show on Netflix than it does to submit an application for life insurance. You know, and the cost. I mean, around $50 a month. You can't fill up your gas tank for $50 a month. But let me take a look. Let me see if there are any other questions. I typically go through the top 20 questions, but I thought I'd do a little bit different today. I thought I would just ask the audience for questions, but so far there have been none. But typically I go through the top 20 life insurance questions, like difference between whole life and term life. Is it tax-free? How much does it usually cost? Typically for a good term policy, most people can get a policy for around $50 a month or less, depending on the amount of coverage, obviously, the duration and your age and health. For senior citizens, if they're looking for a policy to cover the cost of a cremation or burial, for a burial, it's around $15,000. Usually I would budget between $60 to $80 to be safe. But that is pretty much it. Like I've got another viewer here. Do you have any questions about life insurance, or you have any complaints about life insurance? I'll also accept complaints on behalf of the life insurance industry. For example, why do they call you nonstop all day, every day? Be happy to answer that. Why are there so many misleading ads? I have the information on that. Like anything you need to know about life insurance, I am pretty well versed in. So, by all means, ask your question. But yeah, my biggest passion in this is to make sure parents who have kids have life insurance. That's the core. I'll help all other people easily. Gladly help all people, senior citizens, not a problem. All right. Well, all right. Well, I lost my viewers. Average view time is 2 minutes 19 seconds, and I've had 7 views, which means that the amount of view time somebody could have had a life insurance policy. All right. Hey, welcome to the chat here. Welcome to the stream. I've already gone over a few different things, but I would be happy to go over anything that you have, any questions you have. There's no obligation, no pressure. If you got any questions about life insurance whatsoever, feel free to ask. Or if you have a question in general, you're more than welcome to ask that as well. But I can go over it again. Oh, yeah, my primary focus is parents with kids under the age of 18. That's my passion in life insurance. I want every single parent who has kids under the age of 18 to have a life insurance policy in place, just because it's fast, it's inexpensive, and it provides protection for the kids. I can almost excuse any other situation where you didn't get life insurance, with the exception of you having kids under 18. I think that is crucial, just to provide that protection for them. And usually it's $50 or less, and it takes 15 to 20 minutes to fill out the application. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I've included the link to my personal website or my personal agent page for Banner Term. That's the term life company that I think is the absolute best in the U.S. I can provide you with other companies if you'd like to go that direction, but I am, in fact, all ears, and if you have any questions at all. Tough crowd, guys. You guys are tough. I am going to have to be more. I think I'm going to have to be more entertaining and more engaging. What do you think, huh? You think I'm gonna have to do that? Oh wait, I don't have a video. There we go. Pop up in a video. I'm sorry, I readjusted my I readjusted my camera and it kind of messed up. But hey, welcome to the stream. I have a person here, and if you have any questions whatsoever about life insurance at all, or any complaints about you looking for life insurance, I know that's not a pleasant experience. You're more than welcome to ask those questions. Or if you just want me to talk on and on, I can do that as well. Multifaceted here. All right. So the most complaints about life insurance is there's so many different things out there, so much misleading information, so many false advertisements, so many spam calls. You know, if you fill out one of those forms where they pretend to give you a free quote, the next thing you know, your phone's going to ring nonstop all day, every day. I think that's one of the most common complaints. High pressure tactics, I think that's another one, which is true. You do get some of the gym bros in there. But yeah, if you have any questions whatsoever about life insurance, you are more than welcome to ask. Or if you have any questions in general, at this point, I'll field any questions. You know, if you're curious about the 15th president of the United States, I can answer that for you. Or you want me to do the alphabet backwards, I'm well versed in that as well. So anything is fair game. But it is primarily focused on life insurance. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, but my primary passion is making sure that parents with kids under 18 have a life insurance policy in place. Because if a parent's lost, then that is typically an income stream that's lost, and the other parent's going to suffer, and the kids are going to suffer as a result of that. And it's fast, it's easy, it's affordable. You know, there's almost no reason for a parent not to have a policy in place. I think I mentioned 3 exceptions. 1, they're multimillionaires. 2, they can't afford anything at all monthly. And 3, their health conditions would eliminate them from the term life pool. So those are the only 3 instances that I can personally think of why a parent would not have a policy in place to protect their families. So. But like I said, I'm happy to field any questions that you have. I can probably go back and go through the top 20 questions again. I've done several videos on that, term life, whole life, certain companies. I've done videos on Mutual of Omaha, Globe Life, Colonial Penn. You know, any questions you have about carriers, I can be happy to answer those truthfully and honestly. It makes me nervous. No questions. I'll ask a question. How long does it take to fill out an application? Sure thing. It takes about 15 minutes. That is a good question. All right, I've got about 30 minutes before my next call, but more than happy to answer questions. Uh-oh. Now, let me see here. What do we have? Here we go. Get this right here. All right, there we go. Got that. Oh, just taking a look here. Hey, welcome to the channel. If you have any questions about life insurance, feel free to ask. I was just doing some work in the background, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you've got about life insurance or any complaints that you have about life insurance. Most commonly, it's the number of phone calls you get or the number of fake advertisements that you see. Or if you don't have any questions about life insurance, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Let me see. I'm taking a look here. Make sure I got time before my appointment. But yeah, I was going over pretty much the importance of having a life insurance policy if you have kids under the ages of 18. I think most parents just don't sit down and actually. All right. Well, I have. Looks like I have gone away here. All right, welcome to the chat. If you have any questions about life insurance, feel free to ask them. Or if you have any complaints about the industry, you are more than welcome to voice those here.